Hello, welcome to Do I Need Textbooks? I am Carla Delgado, a student success coach here at LaSalle.
And I'm Karen McFadden. I am also a student success coach here at LaSalle.
So as success coaches, one of the areas we talk to our students about are finances. And in that conversation, a lot of time, the topic of textbooks comes up. So the question we're looking at today, it's going to be, do I need textbooks? And we're going to provide a quick guide to textbooks in college.
Here we go.
So what is a textbook? So we all know when we say textbook, we're thinking about books, but it doesn't necessarily mean that for all of your courses. So what I mean by that is you're not only going to see the textbook option in your syllabus, you're going to see the section called course materials. And a lot of times there are going to be books in that section, but there's also going to be other things. Some of them can be other print materials like articles, different links to different websites, which you'll be reading articles in. It could be software platforms, like for anatomy classes where you have to use a lab software to complete certain assignments, or for your accounting classes. And it could be anything from movies, shows, videos, and audio recordings. So course materials are not only textbooks. And then if you have any questions about any of your course materials listed, you can always ask your professor and refer to your syllabus to see what it is that you're going to need to be prepared for class.
Yep. So a lot of people ask, do I need my textbooks? I know they cost a bunch of money. They can be a pain to get and to look for and find. You have to deal with shipping. So people ask, do I need my textbooks? The short answer is yes. If your professor felt it was important enough to put it in the syllabus and to post it on the bookstore website and say that this is going to be important material for your class, then it's important enough that you need to get it. So we'll talk a little bit more about ways that that's important and ways you can get those things. But even if your professors don't talk about the book specifically during your day-to-day class periods, they're pretty much assuming that you're reading along to keep up, so that you're prepared to come to class and have, be able to really participate in the discussion. So even if they don't talk about it specifically, they still assume that you have it, and that you can refer to it when you're confused about things, or refer to it when they don't spend a ton of time covering something in class. So yes, you do need them, and we are happy to talk with you about finding them and ways to get them if you're struggling with that.
So how do I know what I need for a class? So before the semester, or even after it starts, you'll have access to our LaSalle bookstore website. And there you'll be able to see all the textbooks required for your courses. Sometimes the books are not going to be listed there for you before the semester, because professors might not have updated what textbook is needed for class, but you can always ask them what the textbook is going to be, and this is going to be on your syllabus during the first day of classes when you show up to class. So you will have this information. So here we're going to show you what our bookstore website looks like and where you would go to see your book list for the semester.
We're going to get on this little school bus and take a trip. So this is a link to the LaSalle bookstore website. So you can also get to this by logging into the portal. And if you type books into the search bar, you'll see that it will come up with our online bookstore. And you can click that and click launch service. And it will bring you to the bookstore homepage, which will look like this. So this is what you'll see first. And to find all the books that you are supposed to get, you can scroll all the way to the bottom and then click find your textbooks here. And do you want to save time? Yes, always. So you can type your student ID number in here. This is not going to work for me because I'm not a student in any classes right now, but you can type your student ID number in here and hit enter. And then it will take you to a page where it shows you all the classes you're registered for and what materials your professors have said you need to get that you're able to get through the bookstore. So again, like Carla said, definitely check your syllabus just to make sure that you have everything, because not all things there might be listed on this bookstore website all the time. But this is an easy place to start and just see what you need. And now let's go back. Nope. Oh boy. Okay.
There we go.
Okay, so we'll look at some other places too in a second. But that's a nice place to get an overview of what you need. Syllabus and the bookstore website.
Yes, so another important question to ask yourself, I know we're talking about saving money, books are very expensive. So one thing to consider is, should you be buying or renting the textbooks? And this is a question I asked myself as a student, and that I ask myself even now in a graduate program, should I rent or buy this? And then what I ask myself is, will I ever look at this book again? Be honest with yourself. If the answer is no, I just need it to get through the course, then the best thing to do is rent the book so you can use it for the semester and then return it. And another question to ask yourself is it a book in my for a course in my major? Will I be using this as reference in the future? And if the answer is yes, then you might want to buy this to keep for reference. If the answer is no, you don't see yourself using this again, then again, renting might be the more affordable option and what makes sense. Another important question is, will you need this book for more than one semester? Sometimes it's cheaper to purchase the textbook because you'll have to rent it 2 semesters, since some courses do use the same textbook for a year. Some of those are anatomy. When you're taking anatomy 1 and 2, it's the same textbook. And for statistics, you do take a statistics 1 and 2 most of the times, and you are using the same book for both of those. And we also want to share some places in which you can look for cheaper textbook options when you're doing this search.
Yep, so we just took a look at the LaSalle Bookstore website, which is a nice place to see exactly what your professors have said you need. And again, double check your syllabus. But there are some other places, once you know what you're looking for, then you can look in some other places to see if you can maybe find it cheaper or possibly for free somewhere else. So we're going to look at a couple of these other places here. One of these is a website called Big Words. That is nice because it's an aggregator. So it searches a gazillion other websites. So you can type whatever book you're looking for here. I already did this, so we don't have to wait for it to load. If you type in what you're looking for and then click on that, it will show you the book up here. But then what it does is it searches all these other websites, right? And it returns you a list starting with the cheapest book at the top and getting increasingly more expensive. But you can see the range of prices here, right? So like, it's worth your time to spend a little bit like looking around to see where you might be able to save some money. The nice thing about this website too is it includes the shipping as part of that total price. And then when you decide what book you want, you can decide if you want to rent it or buy it. You can choose different types, like do you want an electronic textbook? Some people like that, some people hate it. So you have some options here, but when you decide what you want, you can click on this little shopping cart and it brings you to the website where it has found that particular thing, and it automatically puts it in your cart so you're all ready to check out. So that's one place. We can also, oh no. Okay. Another place you can look is the library. So LaSalle has our own library, the Connolly Library, which of course is free, like any library. So when you come to the library website, which again, you can get to from the portal, just type library in the search bar. You want to look at the catalog, and then you can search for it by title. But another thing you'll see when you originally look up what you need on the LaSalle Bookstore website is an ISBN number, and that is a 10 or a 13-digit number that is like a unique identifier for that book. So your professor, many books have the same title. Like there's a gazillion textbooks that are just called psychology. How do you know which one is the right one? You have to make sure the ISBN numbers match. So that's an easy way to see whether or not you have the actually correct book. So you can click ISBN here if you want, or you can search by title, or you can search by author. And that will tell you whether or not the book is available in our library. So you can go to the library and use it. Some books are held there on reserve, so you can go to the library and look at the book, but you can't take the book out so that it's available like at all times for your whole class. But some books you can just rent, and you can keep them in your dorm or take them home with you. Another place you can look is the Philadelphia Free Library, Again, free. We love free. And this is a nice website because it's going to search all the branches of the library. And the Philadelphia Library is wonderful in that if you find a book that you need, they can send it to a branch of the library that is close to you. So say you live in like West Philly and you find a book that's in the main library, like the big fancy one downtown, they can send that book over to the branch of the library that's in West Philly near where you live, and you can pick that up. You're able to renew these through this website. If you don't have a free Library of Philadelphia card, you can just get one. It's very easy. And that way, you know, they often have textbooks that we need. So this is also a good place to look and find things for free. So let's move on. So once you actually have your books, what do you do with them? Again, your professors might not always talk specifically about your books in class. And especially if your course material isn't necessarily a book, if it's like a program that you need to do your anatomy homework, like Carla mentioned, you're going to want to make sure that whatever computer you're using meets the basic software requirements or hardware requirements early in the semester, so that if you have problems with that, you can check with the IT office and see, figure out what you need to do so that you're ready when you have to start submitting assignments, and set up any registration things you need. Many programs have free trials, so be aware of the expiration dates so that if your program expires, you're still able to continue submitting things without, any hiccups. But once you have a book or your programs or anything like that, it's a good idea to look ahead in your syllabus, right? You want to be prepared ahead of time. So if your syllabus mentions some topic that you'll be covering or a specific chapter you have to read or anything like that, you want to check your syllabus so that you're ready for the class. Look at that stuff before you go to class. Don't wait for your professor to bring it up. Oftentimes it's going to be too late, right? So once you have found out what you actually need to look at and prepare for, then how do you read it? We have a thing here called Peer Academic Coaching. It's part of our Center for Academic Achievement. They are very useful for helping you figure out how to approach reading different kinds of books. The way that you read a book for your English class is going to be very different than how you use your math textbook, right? So this is also something we can talk with you about as success coaches, but you're going to approach different textbooks and programs in different ways. So it's important to take some time at the beginning of the semester and look at your book, and there'll be section headers that you can turn into questions to kind of check yourself along the way and make sure you actually are understanding what you're reading, things like that. If your book is an online book, it might have review questions built in. So take a look at those things early on so that you are actually getting something out of the book when you're spending time reading it. And we're happy to talk with you about that.
So what happens if you've checked the library, if you've looked for rent options and you still can't get your books, can't afford them? You should be stopping by to talk to one of us, your success coaches. You can see who your success coach is through the portal. You look up Starfish, and when you open Starfish, you go into your success network and you're able to see who your assigned success coach is. We have our emails here. You should have one of the four of us, and we can talk to you about other options that may be available for you to help you get textbooks, or we can look with you into those free options and see if we can figure something out so we can help you find textbooks for the semester. Again, we are here to support you in your success, and we don't want to let textbooks get in the way of your success in the course. So the sooner you can come see us about issues getting your textbooks, the better it is, and the more effective you can be and more prepared you can be for your classes. So again, if you have any trouble getting your books, please stop by to see us. We're happy to help you.
And just a quick note, these phone numbers that you see are for texting us. You can't actually call them. You will get an error if you try to call these numbers, but you can text us here anytime. So thank you, and we hope to see you soon.
Thank you.